Firefighter Stephen Samuels. In my first year on the fire department, it's been an experience so far, enjoying it. So getting started as a firefighter, you gotta first go through the Firefighter Academy. Depending on, let's say, how big the class is, it could be 3 months, it could be 4 months. For us, we started last June. I graduated in September, jumped right in. The job itself is obviously a dangerous job. So there's gonna be days that, hey, when it's time to work, you gotta work. But then there's gonna be other days where it's kind of chill and laid back. We do a lot of training, so every day is a training day. We actually did that today. With that training, we actually staged on Broad Street, that parking lot across from Cass Street. So you had, let's say, Trenton out there, you had Lawrenceville, Ewing, Hamilton, pretty much all come together, state police, so that we pretty much will practice, like, if we had that type of situation, how we actually respond to that. So it occurred at the Cure Arena, so they dispatched us from, let's say, that station area where we actually went over there in order to do the different things. So we had, let's say, people that played victim where they were shot. We had to get them to safety, working with, let's say, the police who pretty much are protecting us as, let's say, the EMS responders, in order to then get them to a area of refuge and then transport them to where they got to go, and just make sure that the scene is being maintained and doing what we got to do. Again, understanding if that does happen, how we actually respond to that. Most times when we get in the morning, we check the rig. So this truck is actually the truck that I'm currently on. So this is engine 10, we're in the middle of the city. We go to everything. So if it's a fire, we do EMS calls, whether it's gonna be on the south side, the west side, here downtown, we respond to it all. So being on this truck, I actually get to see a lot, and I actually prefer to be on this truck because I get the experience that, yeah, we train for this stuff in the academy, we train for this stuff on the job, but you really get the experience when you're actually doing the job. I mean, that's the best part about being on this truck to me. The fire department itself, as a whole, we get different types of calls, whether it be EMS, obviously fire calls, car accidents, we respond to them all. Each of them, you're for sure gonna get a different type of reaction in terms of, let's say, when that call comes through. Us specifically, obviously, we're firemen. We love to hear fire. So if a fire was to come through, you're gonna hear everyone running. It's a different type of experience compared to, let's say, some of the other calls. Not that we're delayed to them, but it's like, hey, for us, every second counts. So let's say the sooner we get there, the better it is to make your situation better. It is one of those things, it's like going to Chuck E. Cheese for us, let's say. We enjoy it. So this is actually gonna be an engine truck. Running out of headquarters, we have an engine truck, we have a ladder truck, we actually have 2 engine trucks running out of here, and we have our rescue, which is gonna be on the other side. So the engine truck, our responsibility is specifically to put water on the fire, let's say water between the fire and the victim, and then this has, let's say, all the different appliances that we typically use. The truck itself is a large, oversized appliance. And then next to us is going to be the ladder truck. So the ladder truck, their responsibility is going to be initially search and rescue, force and entry, and then let's say just what we call overhaul. So that's going to be, let's say, pulling ceilings just to look for a fire extension, things like that. So each compartment houses different things. So let's say here we actually have our cross lay. So this is going to be for a quick deployment of the hose. Let's say if we get to a scene. My job specifically is to actually grab the proper line. So whether it's going to be one of our 4 sections or our 6 section here, in order to then stretch it to, let's say, where the fire is. This is going to be the pump panel. This pump panel is actually going to be controlled by our driver. So let's say on our truck, we typically run a 3-man engine. So there's going to be our driver, our officer, and then the low person, which is going to be me in this case. This compartment here is typically going to be the compartment that our driver uses. All his stuff goes in there. This specific compartment is where we actually have our different types of appliances that we would typically use on it. And again, it depends on, let's say, what we're trying to do, determines, let's say, if any of these get put into service. This here is where we're gonna have, let's say, our different hoses, but also our different nozzles. So this is gonna be our supply lines, and this is going to be our attack lines, and then the different types of nozzles that we actually use on the fire scene. So this one specifically is typically our go-to. This is gonna be a smoothbore nozzle. And then let's say we have the fog nozzle, which allows us to, let's say, adjust the actual stream of the actual water. That determines, again, what we're going to be using and what it is. So most time a fog nozzle will be used, let's say, if we had a car fire or something. Most, let's say, structure fires, we'd actually use that smoothbore nozzle just because it actually gives us a full column of water. Back end, we have, let's say, our full hose complement. In this compartment here, we actually have our high-rise pack. So let's say if we actually respond to any type of alarm activation, door fires in high-rise, we'll actually open this compartment and grab everything that we need in order to then connect to a standpipe that might be in that building, but also just make quick connections. this side here, we have different types of appliances that we would use. So we have a mercury. We actually have our ground base for our deck gun, which is going to be the gun that's actually mounted at the top of the truck. We had to take it off. We actually connected to that. Then we have our portable hydrant, also known as a manifold. These two compartments are compartments that we actually use a lot. This would be more so if we have to do any type of actual rescue. Our specific truck, we're actually part of the Task Force 2 here at the fire department. So let's say if we had to go to a water call or something like that, we have our PFDs, we have a rescue disc, we have our helmets, because sometimes we have to do, let's say, high angle rescues, things like that. This compartment, again, nothing special. Just have the different types of foams that we would use. Let's say if there was something that we don't know what it is or a chemical, typically that's when we would actually deploy the foam. And it's speedy dry, typically if we have an accident or anything like that. For us, most important is just going to be the way we actually set everything up. So if we did get a call for an emergency, then we can quickly get into the truck and do everything that we got to do. I'll let you throw this on for you in a bit. But up here, part of what I have to do every day, and I probably should have turned on the battery, this is going to be our air pack. So this is pretty much our oxygen. It's rated for 45 minutes. Realistically, if we're working hard, doing everything that we got to do, it's only going to last about 15 minutes. This is the mask that we have to put on just to make sure we're protecting ourselves, our respiratory system, and breathing fresh air while we're in pretty much an IDLH, hazardous area. So that's pretty much about it inside of here. In the event we did get a call, so trying to quickly get out of here, what I do, throw my hat in there, I do it quickly, you know. And quickly try to get in here. Part that sucks, then I'm ready. You want to try to get out of here as quickly as possible. Trying to get out of here is very, very important. Try to do it as fast as possible. Gear is hot. The gear itself weighs about 75 pounds. So pretty heavy. Imagine putting a 70-pound person on your shoulders, let's say carrying this person up steps. So when we got to respond to, let's say, high rises, things like that, become very, very taxing on the body. I feel like that's when I'm like, why am I doing this? But for the most case, like, you enjoy the job. So it's a great job. Great job. Honestly, when it comes to, let's say, a person that experienced some crazy shit on the fire service, it's gonna be this guy here. He's off of work, but he's here right now.
I'm here now.
It is this guy.
My name's George Espinal. I work on People Platoon Rescue 1. Crazy thing that I've experienced, having to jump out of windows because fire was chasing us out of the house. Hamilton Ave, Hamilton and Clinton, a couple houses in. Yeah, that was crazy for me. But, all right,
have a good one. Honestly, one big thing that we learned as kids, don't play with fire. Try not to make our job harder than it needs to be. So oxygen is fuel to a fire. So let's say in the event there was a fire, don't try to expose oxygen to it. Don't open a window, don't open a door. We want to starve that fire of oxygen. So if you could do us a favor, if you unfortunately had to experience a fire, you had to get out the house, close the door behind you. I know it's not the thing that you're thinking about, but it does make it a little bit easier for our job. That is the one educational thing I can actually pass on, because I didn't know that at first until I got on the job. So Julie, honestly, the most experienced person that I know on the job is going to be this man here. He's typically my driver. Today he's being TA to the adjunct. This guy is going to be the most knowledgeable person that I feel is on the department. Hey, Dooley. Yeah, what's up? I just wanted to shout you out at this point as the most experienced person that I know when it comes to the job. Thank you. If there's something that you could give that would be educational. So let's say I jokingly said don't play with fire, which is, let's say, that one thing. But then I also explain about, let's say, oxygen being the fuel to fire, which a lot of people don't know that. So is there anything that you could give to that?
Honestly, if you were to go that route, I lean a little bit more towards fire safety. Like you said, practice your home exit drills. Advise children of the do's and don'ts in regards to fire service, reaching out to 911, so on and so forth.
So you know if there was a fire, what to do in that case. That's very important. We want to get you guys out because as long as we get you guys out, it makes our job a little bit easier when it comes to trying to extinguish that fire. But if there's a head count and we know that, hey, everyone has safely exited, it's one less thing that we have to worry about, although we still have to do a search just to make sure that it is all clear.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome, man. Have a
So we pretty much do everything here. We cook here, shower here. Let's say for some people, they don't like to take anything home at all, so we do our laundry here. Literally like our home away from home for the time that we're actually here. So we do work 24 hours. Typically get here at about 7 o'clock, leave the next morning once your relief gets here. I personally get here at about 5:30. I like to work out first. After I work out, I shower, get dressed, start my day, check the truck. I'm here, let's say have some coffee, and then we start our training. In the morning time, we'll actually grab our stuff from here, put it on the truck, pretty much get it all set up. At the end of the day, it pretty much comes back here. So this is pretty much for everyone here that works at this specific firehouse. Our gym section here. This is pretty much where I will come 2 times a day. First in the morning before I start my shift, and typically later in the evening, 7, 8 o'clock at night. End my day. Then go up, shower, get dressed, pretty much prepare for bed. Stairmaster, very, very important because high rise, anything less than 5 stories, we have to actually walk up to actually get to that. So let's say if it's an alarm on the 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, we have to take the stairs to get to that. We're not allowed to use the elevators at that point. One of my captains, they like to say, train how you play. If I'm on the Stairmaster, I like to add the additional weight to try to simulate me carrying something up that stair, whether it be kettlebells, maybe let's say dumbbells, just something to add that additional weight that's just not me walking up there with body weight or no gear on, just something to simulate, let's say, a realistic scenario. Pretty much it for me.
Man, I rise fire, man. Whoa, what you gear? Top on, man. Grab your irons, your axe, your house. Got a high rise bag with a lockout kit to open doors. Got your hook you're gonna bring. Whatever else, you might bring a pony for the engines to carry. You
And
might
that's all
bring
in addition to his gear. So his pants, his bunker pants, his turnout coat,
oxygen
his
helmet,
oxygen,
everything. So
everything.
extra
And
40
it's just
pounds
the
for the
extra
gear,
stuff.
yeah. Sludge hammer, you might gotta break through the wall. So my name's Hill, Firefighter Hill. What's going on a year, me and Samuels came on together. Yeah, this is my partner right here, man. This guy, the craziest one. I had a fatal fire. The best part about it is you're coming to save a life, but the worst part is losing the person. So best part about it is I'm here now. We can inform the community and more people who don't know about this type of stuff and what's going on out here and what we do, because I didn't know. So give out and give back to everybody else who doesn't know. One of my first fires I had, single family dwelling, was a house I lived at for 12 years, around the corner from the firehouse. Now that's the craziest thing. I don't know if it's ironic or it's meant to be, but I loved it. I had a fire, 240 Academy Street. I lived there maybe 12 years out of my life. My first fire going in was at my old house.